Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I have a little bit of a sunburn right now, so disregard that, okay? But hey, today is my 20th birthday, and today I just wanted to share with you 20 things I've learned in my 20 years of being alive. And hopefully it helps some of you out, you know? You learn some lessons, maybe you already know some of these lessons, maybe you just need some entertainment. I'm here for you. Okay, let's start with number one. Now, these aren't going to go in order from biggest lesson to smallest lesson, but this is probably one of the most valuable lessons I've learned, you know, in being alive, and that is mentality to reality. Your mentality becomes your reality. Manifestation is such a real thing, okay? So please just focus on what you do want in this life and don't focus on what you don't want, because the universe is totally unbiased and it is going to still attract what you don't want if you're still focusing on that. So just focus on the good things, you know? Number two is no one is going to do it for you. If you want something, go get it. Go do it, okay? In the words of Mod Sun, if you expect anybody else to do it for you, it may never happen. Number three is silence is so important. And I don't just mean in terms of meditation, because meditation is very important and that definitely has a little bit to do with this. I made an entire video on how I think silence is like one of the most important things in our world. So if you want to watch it, it'll be up here. But I also learned a very important lesson from my mother, and that is, in some situations, the best thing to say is nothing at all. If somebody's coming at you all crazy, you don't have to dignify them with a response. And in some cases, keyword some, that is the most mature stance to take, but don't just like give somebody the silent treatment because you don't want to say anything, because then that could be immature. You know, it just depends on the situation. Does this make sense? I don't know if I'm, you know, making any sense here, but I hope you get it. Number four is to have a role model older than you and younger than you, because age don't matter, okay? People of all ages can be our teachers. And I really, really strongly believe that as a woman in her 20s, I guess now, it's important to have somebody who's an older figure in my life that I can look up to and go to for support. Like maybe somebody who serves as a motherly figure, but isn't actually your real birth mother. And I also say younger than you because I truly believe that children are some of our biggest teachers, and I learn the most like purest lessons from the kids that I nanny for. So please, please just have like one younger role model, okay? And just friends in general. Have older and younger friends. It doesn't matter what age your friends are, okay? Number five is the only person who cares about your insecurities is you. And I don't want that to come across as harsh. I really just mean that nobody is going to trip over them as much as you do. So you don't need to like disclaim things in your relationships, you know? Like somebody is literally just going to respond, I don't care. And the biggest thing that I face with my insecurities is holding myself back from doing things because I have these insecurities. Like please, this summer, go out, go to the beach. Who gives a fuck if you don't feel good in a bikini? Just go out and do it, okay? The most empowering thing that you can do for your insecurities is face them, like face your general fear of them and just go out and do the damn thing, because that's the only way that you're gonna get over them, okay? Number six is self-care is so important. Please, please, please take care of yourselves, okay? And I mean your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, all of the things. I saw a tweet actually the other day that I'm gonna read to you guys that really breaks it down. Self-care isn't just bubble baths, sheet masks, and pampering. Sometimes it's changing your behavior or acknowledging your bad tendencies. And I could not agree with that more, seriously. Like sometimes I'll take those nights to myself to have a self-care night, you know, a self-pampering night, kick my feet up, and then I'm like, why am I still feeling like shit? And it's because you're not addressing the ways that your mind is actually thinking and sitting down and, you know, writing about it. Find some way to vent, find somebody to vent to, find some way to release that, okay? Don't just like sit in the bath and be like, yeah, this is gonna fix it. Number seven is it is your life and you are in charge of the people in it, okay? Don't feel bad about cutting toxic people out of your life at all. If they are causing you pain, they don't deserve to be in your life, okay? And that is it. That is just enough reason to cut it off altogether. So don't beat yourself up, okay? It's gonna be all right. There are so many other people to be friends with who will actually give you pure joy. Number eight is writing feeds the soul, specifically my soul. I don't know about yours, but I truly believe that writing can help anybody, you know, just writing down your mindset, whether it be your goals, aspirations, all of those things, or even just journaling what you did in that day, writing down memories, writing down things that are generally important to you. And I think it's really, really important to kind of, like I said before, acknowledge the ways that your mind works and see how you can fix the ways of your thinking so that you don't fuck up again. And writing just helps to validate that. Number nine is forgiveness is more than just giving somebody an apology and getting back a response. wants. It's also forgiving yourself. And I mean truly forgiving yourself, you know, like doing that self-work, acknowledging why you do the things that you do and understanding it. Number 10, and this is kind of a cliche, you know, piece of advice, but just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that you have to. In my life, this resonates with me because of my job, you know, like I don't have to follow all of the YouTube trends to stay afloat with my channel, you know, like if that doesn't bring me joy, I don't have to do it. Also with peer pressure and these types of things, like I don't like to go out, you know, like that. I mean, yes, I like going to, you know, dance my pants off every now and again, but I don't like to go and get blackout drunk and like follow all of that kind of bullshit. So like if everybody else is doing that and pressuring you to do that and it's like, oh my God, you're so fucking lame. It's like, shut up. I'm sorry that I just don't enjoy that, you know? So that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned. And I'm not even 21, man, you know, like there is so much of that in the world. So I get you if you're on the same page as me. And I mean, it's not like I don't like to have fun. Like I love to have a good time, but it's just like, sometimes I'm not into that. And my friends need to understand that I'm not into that. Number 11 is love is the law. When we're praying, when we are meditating, when we're doing these things and putting love out into the world, it's so that we get love back. So give love, get love, you know? And when we're sitting there, quote unquote, wishing for love, it's not like we're wishing for a romantic love, you know? It's that love that helps you understand the outside world. It's that love that you feel when you're walking barefoot in nature, you know? It's that love that you feel when you're around children. It's that stuff that gives you genuine joy. That's the love that we're asking for. It's a whole divine love. And I truly feel like that is the law. Like that is the number one thing in the world. I also have an entire video on love if you want to watch that. I'll link it up here and in the down bar. Number 12 is always hear the other side, okay? Please don't be immature in situations and just shut somebody down and, you know, give them that silence that I was talking about and just like not hear it, because that's the immature situation, is when you know that somebody is trying to get through to you and you just shut them down with pure silence. So always hear the other side, because in the words of Mod Sun again, if the opposite of what you believed in didn't exist, you would have absolutely nothing to believe in. So it's really, really important to have an argument with somebody and see where they're coming from, you know, just so you can understand the bigger picture. Number 13 is be bold, be strong in what you believe in, be true in what you believe in, you know, back it with all that your heart has to offer. Just strive to have so much belief in what you do that somebody could never strip that from you. They could certainly try to, but you would have so much reasoning behind everything that you're doing that they would just never even be able to take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? Number 14 is girls stink too, okay? This is kind of a funny one, but like over the course of my youth, I've really come to embrace all of my like feminine odors and whatnot. And parts of girls are fucking smelly, you know? Your vag isn't always going to have a great day. And part of being a woman is just dealing with that and just like going all in there and cleaning up your shit, you know? So that's just what I have to say about that, is just embrace the fact that your body does the things that it does. 15 is feminism is not a bad word. You should never feel bad for being a feminist. You should never feel like you have to defend yourself as a feminist and be like, oh no, but like I don't hate men though, you know? Feminism is the empowerment of the female, the protection of the female, and just embracing how self-sufficient and how strong women are. And that in no way takes away from how strong men are. Number 16 is it's never too late to turn it around. And I mean this kind of in like a day aspect. You know, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, it's gonna be a terrible day, my day is so shit, blah. At that point, you just start manifesting a terrible day onto yourself. And maybe you do fall into all these self-wallowing patterns and, you know, you're just sitting there in your ball of just sadness being like, bleh, it will never get better. But it can, and it will. It always will. And I also mean this like in relationships as well. You know, it's never too late to actually put in the work and the effort to communicate with your significant other or your friend and repair whatever, you know, shit you had going on. It's never too late to, you know, do that. It's never too late to hit somebody up who you haven't talked to in years and be like, hey, I'm sorry about what I did back then. Like if you have a regret from years upon years ago, it's never too late to knock on their door and be like, hey man, I'm sorry. The person will always appreciate you reaching out rather than you never reaching out at all, you know? Okay, now 17 through 20 are 4 lessons that I've learned through this book called The 4 Agreements, and they just really resonated resonated with me and really changed my life. So that's why the last 4 are these. So the first one is be impeccable with your word, okay? No gossip, no hate, none of that shit. Just speak truth and speak love. Kind of like I was saying before, just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. You know, you don't have to add to the bullshit when you could just add to the love. So just do that. Number 18 is don't take anything personally. It will only lead to terrible things. If somebody seems like they're insulting you or coming at you, please just know that it's only coming from them. Their insecurities in their hard little heart. And that's on them to fix. It's not on you to fix, it's just on them, okay? So you just need to observe it from afar and be like, I can hear that, but I'm not going to take it in. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned from being on YouTube. I mean, I really don't get that much hate, but like back in the day, people would say shit about my skin. You know, people always say shit about my tits, my body type, whatever. It's like, I don't fucking care what you have to say about me because I'm not taking it personally, and that's just your own bullshit. So sorry. Number 19 is don't make assumptions. This is one of the biggest things that I love to stress with myself, because sometimes I start making up these like fake scenarios in my head and I'm like, what am I doing? You know, none of this is real. I don't want this to come across mean, but just because the person hasn't said that they like you doesn't mean that they like you. I wasted so much time on a crush back in the day because and my friends too were telling me that he liked me, and like because of how he acted when he was drunk around me and all of these things, like I convinced myself truly that he liked me until I actually told him, and then he was like, no, like I don't like you like that. And I was like, fuck, my life is a lie, you know? And if you make assumptions, you will have that point where you will just reach a wall and you'll be like, holy shit, my life is literally a lie and I really did make all of this up in my head, and you just have to address it and just learn your lesson from there. So I'm just trying to help you out, man. You know, if there's any assumptions in your life right now that you're making, cut them out. And last but not least, number 20 is always do your best. And I mean that in all senses of life, in your work life, in your relationships, in anything that you do, even in your little day-to-day hobbies that you pick up that you're like, oh, I'm just doing this for fun. You know, just always do your best, because even though it may not seem like it, especially sometimes in school, you get super discouraged, it's always worth the effort, okay? Just at least try. And on that note, I guess that's the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. You know, if you did, please give it a big thumbs up for me and comment something down below, one of your biggest life lessons. How about that? Also subscribe to my channel if you're not already. That's one of the biggest birthday gifts you could give to me, all right? Thank you always for all of your constant support. I love you so very much, and I will just see you in my next video, okay? Stay smiling. Bye, guys.
God bless these 20-somethings. God bless, oh God bless, oh God bless, oh. Hoping my 20-somethings won't end. Hoping to keep the rest of my